Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with a Xayah updated complete guide. Now, we're going through all of the ADCs one by one. So we finally reached Xayah. We still got a couple others, like for example, Caitlyn, Corki, Draven, etc. Coming up. Don't really have the gameplay for them yet, but we'll be playing those champions, and we're gonna be making updated complete guides on them. But today we're going to take a look at Xayah. Now, as we all know, Xayah is one of the safest, if not the safest ADC basically out of all of them. Not even in the meta, but basically out of all of them. She has, of course, her ult, which makes her invulnerable, which you can use to dodge a lot of key abilities. Like, for example, you can ult when Camille tries to ult you, and she will not be able to hit you with her ult. Something like that. And of course, she can also build GA and Stasis for an extra 2 layers of protection. Generally, she goes for at least one of those two. So, anyways, Xayah really benefits from the Stormraizer buffs because she can make use of the Stormraizer really well. So, we'll talk a little bit more about that in the build. But first up, as usual, in our updated complete guides, I will refer you to our original Xayah complete guide for the skills and leveling order, so that we don't have to waste time covering that in this video to make it a bit shorter. This will be a bit of a long one because the gameplay is really long, but yeah, so I'll put that in the description and in the cards above. So let's move on to Xayah's build. Alright, so here we actually have Xayah's build. So now, as you guys can see, it's basically a full crit build with the Maul Reminder and the Guardian Angel. So first up, obviously you start with Stormraizer. It gives you the early AD crit and attack speed, as well as the slow. Obviously, pretty much just the best ADC item in the meta at the moment. Pretty obvious, pretty simple. And then the most obvious 2-item power spike that pretty much every ADC goes for is the IE Nyx, which gives you even more AD and crit rate. This is especially important on Xayah because Xayah doesn't actually really need attack speed because she gets it from her W itself. So you don't really have to go for an attack speed item. You go for something like an IE, which gives you, more damage and more crit. Is something that she definitely wants. Then you move on to your third option, which is the static Shiv. So here you of course gain more crit and attack speed, but the part here that's really good about it is that it is an energized item as well. So you will gain more damage on your energized attack, stacking Stormraizer and static Shiv, and also the Shiv lightning from the static Shiv is going to slow because of the Stormraizer. So really good synergy there for an AoE slow. This will be very useful when it comes to slowing down enemies who are chasing you, or slowing down enemies that you are chasing, obviously. So really nice item in that sense. Then you go for the Maul Reminder, of course, for the grievous wounds, as well as the armor penetration. Now, of course, Seralda's Grudge is sort of an option as well, but it really isn't that good because you can mainly only proc it with your Q, and you can't really use your W or E to proc it. You can use your ult to proc it, but you don't want to be wasting your ult to proc the Seralda's Grudge. Lastly, I like to go for GA, of course, for the revive and the extra layer of safety. I'm always an advocate of GA because you never know when like a Katarina is gonna come out of the bush and one-shot you, or some Rengar is gonna just jump on you and delete you in half a second. So GA, in my opinion, very necessary. So now I'm gonna talk about some alternatives that you can go for. Now, static Shiv does really well in terms of increasing her damage and all, but you don't really have a lot of lifesteal in this build. Speaking of lifesteal, we forgot to cover the boots, where you can actually go for Gluttonous Greaves because you have very little lifesteal in this build. And obviously, as I alluded to earlier, Xayah's is generally the best way to go. Of course, you can also go for Protobelt because Xayah doesn't actually really have any inbuilt mobility, or QSS is also an option if you're into a CC heavy team. But anyways, an option you can have is Bloodthirster. So you can actually just build something like this. Now this gives you very little attack speed. Only the Stormraizer gives you attack speed. But as I said, Xayah doesn't really care too much about attack speed because she already gets it from her W itself. So this is definitely an option. Now, a couple other options you have is if your GA is down / you don't actually want to opt into GA, you can go for Bloodthirster as your last item as well. This will give you the sustain that you need, of course. And another option you can have is the rapid fire cannon as a last item to have all 3 energized items, so you will do huge damage on your energized attacks especially. Now I feel that although I don't recommend these 2 items, I should just include it in the build section that Blade of the Rune King and Runaan's Hurricane aren't very good items on Xayah. Now, as I said, Xayah doesn't want attack speed, so if you want lifesteal, going for Bloodthirster is simply better. And Runaan's Hurricane, her feathers on her passive already strike through, so you don't really need the Wind's Fury to spread your damage. You can already have that innately because of your passive, so there's no need to build these 2 items. They are pretty bad items on Xayah. So now, of course, if you are against heavy AP, you go for the Maw. As I said, you don't need attack speed, so you don't want to go for Wits, and you want to go for the Maw of Malmortius. That is an option as well. And of course, you can just go for any other crit item. Something like a Slurry Charge Blade as your last item will work as well. Something like an Navori Quick Blades for more cooldown will work as well. So those are pretty much all your options on Xayah. Pretty flexible in terms of your last item, or if you want to go for different crit items. So yeah, now we can move on to talking about the runes and the spells. Now it's pretty simple when it comes to Xayah and her runes. Basically, she takes Conqueror, obviously, because it's really easy to stack and it's just the best rune at the moment. Then she goes for Hunter Vampirism because you need to get your lifesteal from somewhere aside from the Gluttonous Greaves. Sometimes you don't even go for the Gluttonous Greaves, so you need the Hunter Vampirism for that lifesteal. For the Resolve rune, as usual, it's always the same deal. Story between Hunter Titan, Bone Plating, and Adaptive Carapace, depending on which one you want / prefer / need based on the circumstances of the match. And for the last one, you always go for Hunter Genius because Xayah is very reliant on her cooldowns, especially her E and her W for attack speed. They're basically just very cooldown reliant, so obviously you want to go for Hunter Genius to get more ability haste and get your cooldowns back faster. And for the spells, obviously you go for Flash, and you normally go for Exhaust. If not, you can also opt into a Barrier if you don't want to or you don't need to take Exhaust. So now without further ado, let's jump into the gameplay before the video gets too long. Okay, so now we can move on to the gameplay, and as you guys can see, this is a little bit of a long gameplay because we're not gonna spoil what happens actually, so we're not gonna go into that. But basically, the game lasts very long, as you can see. It's a 25-minute game. So, as usual, as I like to say, when we get to the gameplay section of the complete guides, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video. And any questions or remarks, you can put it in the comments below, and I will be sure to address them. So here, Caitlyn steps up. We cheese her a little bit in our side bush, basically. When she steps up far enough, we hit her with everything. Honestly, she didn't need to flash there. Like, she just panicked and she just flashed. We couldn't kill her level 1, but we could chunk her to a decent amount. But she could have just walked it off, but she flashed instead in panic. So we already got her flash. That's a really good start to the lane. So Caitlyn, champion with very little mobility in the first place, doesn't have her flash anymore. So here we're up against a Leona, and honestly, Caitlyn and Leona is a pretty aggressive lane, but we're being aggressive as well. There we combo Xayah's root into the Nami bubble for a lot of CC onto them, and we get off a lot of free damage. As you can see, they're both about at a 3rd health, and I'm still at full health, and Nami is at about slightly below a 3rd health as well. So overall, we're trading pretty fine. Leona comes in with a stun, but there's no real follow-up from the Caitlyn, and Caitlyn ends up walking a little bit too far out, and we get the first blood onto Caitlyn. So Caitlyn just trying to follow up from Leona. Leona being way too aggressive in that instance, and she pays for it. Now, a common mistake I see a lot of Leona players make is just going in at every available opportunity. Now, as a Leona player, you have to be really, or as any tank engage player, you have to be really patient and wait for the right moment to engage. You don't just engage whenever you can hit your engage. So I do think that Leona player not the best in the world, but yeah. So here we can get ourselves a BF sword, which will put us in a significant advantage in the lane, especially since Caitlyn still hasn't backed and only has her actually she has backed because she died. She has longsword and boots, which is boots is useful but doesn't really give you any more damage. So yeah, we are definitely leading in terms of damage. Now in this matchup, Xayah is really good because you can basically do a lot with the Xayah pick. When Katarina comes in, you can ult. Caitlyn ults you can ult to not get hit by it. Kha'Zix likes to jump in on you, which is Kha'Zix and Leona likes to jump in on you like that. So here Leona gets caught yet again, gets rooted. You know, Katarina comes in for the save, so we're gonna have to back off. Veigar closely behind, and a huge skirmish starts breaking out. Veigar, sorry, ults the Caitlyn, and in comes the Kha'Zix. I'm gonna have to flash away because I was afraid Kha'Zix gonna instantly burst me. In hindsight, may not even have needed to flash because I was in my minion wave, so I wasn't actually isolated, but I thought that I was. So I just flashed away, more or less in panic, same as what the Caitlyn did. But yeah, so this kind of highlights my point. Kha'Zix and Leona want to jump in onto you. Same goes to Camille, so you can ult that. And you can also ult when Camille ults you. If you time it correctly, you won't get caught in the Hextech ultimatum. So this match is pretty lovely to pick Xayah in. And besides Xayah, you know, she's in the S tier. She's very meta at the moment, and she not only is very safe, but she deals a lot of damage as well, especially since you go for these the static Shiv kind of build, and you don't go for like something like a Bloodthirster. Alright, so here we pick up the Kirkai shard. We are, you know, building toward our Stormraizer, of course, almost there. Dragon is spawning, so generally if you like get a kill or two, you can easily get Stormraizer before the first dragon, but if you don't, it's a little bit more difficult. So it's the Infernal Dragon that is up. So here we are just gonna generally rotate over to the Infernal Dragon area. Here, I don't see a lot of action happening. Like, there isn't actually a fight breaking out yet. Now there is, but I'm just gonna quickly clear the wave with my feathers. Leona engages onto, I believe it was Morgana, gets caught by Nami Bubble again, flashes so that she doesn't get rooted by me. Not the worst flash in the world, because if she got rooted by me, she would have taken a lot more damage from my entire team. So that wasn't too bad of a flash. Here, as usual, I'm gonna pop the plant. And we're just going to focus down the dragon. Now, it's pretty obvious that the Kha'Zix has gone from the Rift Herald because he is not in the area at all. So Leona tries to go in, and Kha'Zix get the Rift Herald as expected. I secure the dragon because Morgana just backs out of the pit, basically. But she does pick up a double kill. So we do get the dragon. We do get, you know, a couple of kills. I still don't have any kill. I still have 0 kills and 4 assists, which is definitely not what I want my scoreline to be. But you know, hey, at least we haven't died. We get 4 assists. We take what we can get. We get the Infernal Dragon as well. So here we have the Stormraizer, and we also have enough to pick up the Boots of Speed. So we're in a relatively alright spot. Technically, 4 kill participation is 100% kill participation. So the 4 assists, you know, comes in handy, I guess you could say. Alright, so here Caitlyn obviously is trying to push and get some tower damage in, so we're just going to go back, clear the wave, and, you know, she can't fight us at this point because she has a BF sword, we have a Stormraizer, so she's definitely going to lose a fight to us, so she cannot really fight us. Same goes with Leona. If Leona goes in, she doesn't have any completed items. Pretty much we win 2v2 against both of them, I do believe, unless, you know, something insane happens, but we should easily win a 2v2. So of course you guys can see my ult isn't actually up. So when your ult isn't up, you want to play a little bit more safer. We know Leona's in that bush, but I don't really care. As I said, I do believe I win fights against them, so I'm not too scared of Leona. Kha'Zix actually comes in now. That's not good because Kha'Zix 3v1 is not something that we can really do too well in. I say that, but we're actually kind of wrecking them. Here in I go for the two of them. I ult to get the feathers down, which is rarely how you want to use your ult, but sometimes circumstances call for it. You do want to do that, something like that. So of course your ult puts down a huge number of feathers, so it puts down 5 feathers to be exact. So if you do need it to put down the feathers for the damage, you can use it like that, but generally it's a lot better to use as a defensive tool, because if you pop that for the feathers, feather placement on the ground, you won't have it as a defensive tool anymore. In that instance, I felt really safe to do that, because obviously the mid laner and top laner are in their lanes. The jungle has already ganked us, so we know where everybody is. And, you know, they already used their spells to try to burst us down. Leona used all her CC and her ultimate. Kha'Zix jumped in and used everything as well. So I felt it was relatively safe to use my ult aggressively in that instance. But you will rarely ever see me do that, and I don't really recommend doing that unless, you know, you find yourself in a similar situation to me where you can basically do it without too much consequence. And I say without too much consequence, but in reality there is always a consequence for using your ult, because there's always a cooldown which can be punished by the enemy team if they are smart about it. So there technically is always a consequence. Anyways, here we're gonna just clear out the wave. Leona is in the mid lane, so she is coming back to top with the Katarina in tow, so we don't want to be too aggressive and push the tower. So instead we're just gonna wait in the bush. Hopefully it isn't warded. Katarina just comes by. I believe it wasn't warded because if not she probably walked closer to us. Leona goes in by herself again. I get hit by all the CC. Katarina goes in, so I'm gonna have to ult, put down the feathers, and recall for the kill on the Katarina. So there you can see how useful Xayah's ult is. If I was anybody other than a Xayah, I likely will just die there after getting chain CC'd by everything Leona has and Katarina engaging in onto me. Probably anybody else would have died. Even those like with a dash. I think if I was like a Lucian or whatever, I still would have died. So Xayah really coming in clutch, you know, with the ult in that fight. So here we pick up tower plate. In comes the Kha'Zix from behind. And in comes the Camille from behind as well. Gonna have to flash to get myself to safety. And the first tower is acquired by Diana. So we don't actually have to risk defending this tower anymore, because Diana already got the first tower of the game. So we're just gonna back off. It's like pretty much a 3v2. And we can just back and get items and rotate to the dragon. The enemy team actually decides to not even go for the tower and decides to instead go for the dragon. Now, the Morgana finds herself caught again. So the enemy team is pretty much guaranteed to get the dragon because we don't have a jungler. Diana does go in for the fight though, and here I see, you know, that this is a pretty good fight, so I'm just going in with her for the fight as well. Here I out the Camille E for the triple, and I actually managed to get the slow on Caitlyn for the quadra. Now here only me and Veigar were left, so I decided not to go for the penta, but you know, I got some encouragement, you know, from the Nami who I was duo with to just go for the penta. So I was just walking towards the Kha'Zix. I get slowed by his void spike, I think it's called, and he jumps over the wall. So no penta for me. Now, I'm wondering what you guys think. Do you guys think I should have gone for the penta there? Because my thought process there was that even though the Kha'Zix was pretty low, by this point in time he would have gotten his Q evolved, and I'm not too sure how fast I can burst him. So I thought that there might be a decent chance that I simply just die to him without the Veigar following me. If Veigar followed me, I definitely would have gone for it, but Veigar is going the other direction, so I would have been isolated, and I don't think that would have been too good of an outcome. But either way, with that quadra kill, we are now 6-0 and 4, so we now got a lot of gold. We can get ourselves the Infinity Edge. In this match, I chose to go for the armor boots with the Zhonya's. Now, the reason I chose to go for that is, even though my only source of healing is Hunter Vampirism, in this particular match I have a Nami with me, and I'm duo with that Nami, so the Nami, you know, can provide me with the heals and sustains that I need instead of me myself going for, you know, lifesteal items, because I feel that, you know, in this game there is a lot of physical damage. Everybody aside from Katarina basically is physical damage, so I kind of want to get some defenses against that. So here, I cleared mid lane, kind of stood too far from the blast plant there. I'm gonna just take the top lane as well. Take the wave, I mean. So obviously, as usual, you know, in your downtime as ADC, nothing much is happening. There's no safe waves to collect. You go for the jungle monsters instead. Now, I don't really need blue buff. Morgana probably needs it more than me, so I'm not going to try to steal her blue buff. I'm just gonna take the other camps, you know, just be nice to your jungler. You know, like, she should be giving me red buff because she doesn't need red buff, but I do know she needs blue buff more than me, so I'm not gonna take her blue buff. I'm just gonna leave the blue buff to her. Now, of course, unless she's, you know, completely feeding or something, then you should probably take it, but she's 2-2 and 1. She's not like completely feeding, so we're just gonna leave her the blue buff. So here, get a reset. Our wave in top is pushed out already. It appears a huge skirmish is coming down bot. My whole team is just walking into the enemy team in bot. Here I'm trying to join the fight, so I make the snap decision to flash over and to join the fight. I managed to burst down the Kha'Zix, and Camille, in comes Camille, and I ult to get to save myself. And here Katarina almost kills me, but my stasis allows me to buy enough time for my team to back me up and for my E to come off cooldown, allowing me to recall my feathers and get the kill on Katarina. So triple kill for me. We're really strong at this point in time. Obviously, with that triple kill, we can go back, complete our static Shiv, and we've had all 3 of our crit items. So we're in a really good spot at this point in time. Now, you might notice that even though I'm doing very well, 9-0 and 4, the goal difference between the two teams is about 6k. Now, 6k is a pretty decent goal lead, but it's not like a 10k goal lead where the match is like basically over already. So here, obviously, I have my items. I'm going to take the red buff, which is obviously going to be way better on me than it is going to be on Morgana. So the Ocean Dragon is coming up, so that's going to be the next fight that will ensue. So in the meantime, obviously, as I always mention, you get the mid lane priority before the objective, which will allow you to have a wave to push down on if you do win the objective fight, and you have members to push with. Also prevents the enemy team from doing the same thing to you. So here I'm just sticking around the mid lane. Wave is coming in, but we don't really have that much time to waste. Kha'Zix is actually spotted in the top lane, so likely they are not actually starting the dragon yet. Likely they're just camping somewhere. So here I'm just going to let someone go in first, that being like the Diana. In comes basically the whole enemy team. I'm just trying to damage whoever I can. I'm taking a lot of damage. I'm going to ult. I ult a bit too late to immune the Hextech Ultimatum by the Camille, but I did manage to buy myself enough time. I get assassinated by Katarina from behind, but I did buy myself enough time to get my feathers back and kill the Camille, and also managed to dodge the Camille out. Not dodge, but let my team block the Camille out for me. But unfortunately, Katarina came in with a flank and she did get the kill on me, but my team does manage to basically clean up the fight. So it's still relatively fine. Now, the Rift Herald automatically summoned, I believe. So kind of a wasted Herald, because it has very low chance of getting all the way to that second tier tower, especially since the entire enemy team has just revived. So pretty much a wasted Herald there. But yeah, so my first death of the game. I think, I'm not too sure if I had my stasis up there. I think I probably didn't, because I did use it in the bot lane against the Katarina on that one. But if I had, it was way too fast for me to even press it. Obviously, I didn't have my ult already. But yeah, so, it is what it is. So in the downtime, as usual, we're going to pick up the chickens. We're going to take whatever we can get. And there's not a whole lot that we can get at this point in time. So the blue side jungle, I guess, is up. We could go there to take far if we want to, but we're instead just going to clear out the mid lane. Now, aside from us in our team, Diana is doing relatively well. 7, 4, and 5. She's doing relatively alright. She has a Lich Bane, a Nashor's Tooth, and a bit of a pretty strange build. Because normally you don't go for all three of those items. The Lich Bane is the most surprising one, I guess you could say. Taking red buff again. But yeah, she is doing pretty well, so not going to comment too much about it. And me and Nami obviously doing pretty well. Now, Veigar not doing the best in the world. Morgana as well, but at least they're not feeding their tails off. They're not like 0 and 5 or something. No, so it's a match that we're poised to win, basically. We still have a 6k goalie from in front of the enemy team, so we should be fine in that aspect. Now here we finally go to the blue side jungle to just clear out the camps and take the goal. So we have Mono Reminder completed already, so we're one item from full build. We only need the GA to actually reach full build, so we're doing relatively fine in terms of in that aspect, I guess you could say. So here, I'm gonna catch the bot wave as well. So the entire enemy team is somewhere in the bot side area, so we want to be a bit cautious when we're in the bot side area. Here we ward the Baron just to make sure they're not on it, because I thought they might be sneaking a Baron, but that wasn't the case, which is of course a good thing. Diana goes in onto basically the entire enemy team. Nami out goes down, hits 3 members of the enemy team. Kha'Zix is in a flank position, but I don't really care too much about him because I got my teammates around me. Camille tries to go in 1v3, does manage to pick up the kill onto Morgana, but we do manage to trade the kill onto Camille. So Morgana is of course our jungler, so we don't have a jungler for the next 30 seconds. 30 plus seconds, I guess you could say. But as long as we don't let any team do any objectives, we should be fine. Here we're sieging onto the tower, which is a little bit hard when you have red buff and static shiv. So we're just gonna continue pushing like that, trying to force down the tower basically. And we do actually manage to force down the tower. In comes Kha'Zix, in comes Katarina. I exhaust the Katarina actually instead of ulting or using stasis, because I believe with the exhaust she wouldn't do enough damage to kill me, and I was right. Leona tries to trade the kill onto me before she dies, but she simply just dies. And yeah, we're pretty alright at this point in time. Now, Elder Dragon is coming up in 25 seconds, so I do want to reset. And my team should be resetting as well. Nami is resetting, but the other two are not. So we do want to, of course, go for that Elder Dragon. Not enough for the GA yet, but we're going to get the BF Sword. Now, a fight sort of breaks up in the top lane. Camille kills Veigar. And but you know what is the situation at the moment is Leona and Kha'Zix have still dead from our siege in the top lane. So this is pretty much a free Elder Dragon as long as Morgana can smite. Now here I'm gonna pop the plan so that Katarina can come in with some shenanigans, at least not the easy way. And here we're just going to go for the Elder Dragon. So here somehow the enemy team did manage to steal the Elder Dragon. Now Morgana obviously sucks as a jungler. She can't smite for her life. But yeah, so in comes Katarina, she just dies. But the important part about the situation here is that we didn't get the Elder Dragon, and it's an Elder Cloud Dragon, which gives a whole ton of movement speed, you know, in and out of combat. So that is really, really bad. But, you know, what can we do about it? Like, our jungler can smite. You do have games like that. Like, that was so easy to smite. But actually, you know, to her defense, not too much of a defense, but Diana did serve out the dragon strangely, which obviously caused a huge burst of damage onto the dragon, which made it really hard to judge the health of the dragon. So Diana kind of screwed up at that point as well. Here I out-flash for the safety, get the kill on Kha'Zix with the pullback, and I'm starting to fire onto the Camille, get the kill onto the Camille as well. I didn't get the kill, but we got the kill onto the Camille as well. So we're in pretty good shape. Now here we're going to go for Baron. So obviously the enemy jungler is dead. Two other members of the enemy team is dead as well. Somebody just revived, but it's a pretty much free Baron again, as long as we can actually do it. And here I'm actually tanking the Baron, which shouldn't be the case because the person who tanks the Baron does 50% less damage to Baron because of the Baron's gaze. So someone else needs to tank the Baron for me. Now Caitlyn comes over for some shenanigans, and I'm wondering why are we not finishing the Baron? This team is so incompetent. Like, just finish the Baron. It's a free Baron. So we finally get the Baron. Now in comes Katarina. She pops my GA. So very needless. I tanked so much of the Baron that I had no health left. I went from full health to like no health because of the Baron, and I had enough of all this nonsense. So I'm just gonna go away, and I'm just gonna clear the wave. And yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much the situation there. It was such a free Baron. We didn't need to fight anybody in this scenario. So I'm gonna sell the GA, and I'm gonna get myself the rapid fire cannon. Now honestly, the Bloodthirster would be a way better option here, especially considering that I don't have any Gluttonous Greaves. Even I don't really have any lifesteal aside from the Hunter Vampirism. But in this match, as I said, I'm duo with the Nami, so I trust the Nami to heal me. And by now, you know, her heals are huge. She has, of course, the Harmonic Echo already, and you know, there are many items into the game. We're really late into the game, 20 plus minutes already. As you can see, Kha'Zix tries to go in on me, but he's just gonna eat like 3 auto attacks, and he dies to the red buff. So no messing with Xayah. Xayah's damage is huge, especially now with the rapid fire cannon, a third energized item. I do very huge damage to the enemy team. As you can see, I nearly just one-shot the chickens. So really huge damage by Xayah. We're gonna see it in a while, I believe, you know, when we get into a fight or so. But here I'm just gonna clear out the lane. Look at that static shift, you know, crit. Huge damage, huge crit off the static shift. So here I don't know where the enemy team exactly is, so I don't want to just push up too far. Instead, I'm just going to go into the jungle to steal their blue buff. Pretty instant. Just take the Gromp as well. Now I'm full build, I don't need any gold, but this is all about denial. It's not really fully about just taking the gold. Now here I'm just going to quickly take down the tower. Not too difficult. I do feel really strong at this point in time, and we have 4 cannons in this wave, so this wave is really strong. So here I'm just sticking around to give the Baron buff to the cannons, which is going to be really hard for the enemy team to kill. Katarina tries to come in for a flank, but we spotted out early, and she dies before she has a chance to do anything. Baron actually just runs out midway through our push, but with the 3 cannons we can still push down the inhibitor as well as a backup wave coming in. So we already got like 2 inhibitors from the enemy team. Now I feel pretty strong, so I'm actually stepping up. I ult the Camille ult this time, so don't really get trapped into the Hextech ultimatum. I actually tank a couple of tower shots, but I'm just trying to output my damage, and I accidentally just die basically. So I actually tanked a one tower shot too many, and I just die, which is a huge screw up in, you know, from my end, but we do manage to secure the third inhibitor from the enemy team, and at this point, even though I died, unless my whole team gets wiped here and they run straight down mid to end the game, at this point in time, with all 3 inhibitors down, the game is pretty much won. Pretty much when you have no inhibitors, it's almost impossible to come back. The only way you come back is if the enemy team makes a huge mistake and they all get wiped, and you have a wave, you run straight down mid and end the game. Now, in this case, my team did all get wiped, but not at the same time, because Nami is about to revive in a couple of seconds. I'm about to revive in a bit as well, and the enemy team doesn't have a wave, so this is not going to win them the game. Now, my GA is going to be back up in a couple of seconds, so I sell the rapid fire cannon and go back to the GA, obviously because I want that safety from the GA. Now, Baron is obviously going to be the only objective we can fight for. There's no more dragons after the Elder Dragon already, at least before Elemental Rift. So, we're going to, as usual, take the red buff again. I'm not too sure why I'm taking the chickens, because I'm already full build. So, probably just a something habitual on my end, just taking whatever farm I can get. So, enemy team has completely no inhibs left, so very random protoballs by that Morgana. But anyways, here we're just going to clear out the wave, and I'm just pinging for Baron because the enemy team has to be clearing all the 3 waves of super minions, so they can't really afford to defend the Baron. And Kha'Zix is at the opposite side of the map as well, so this is pretty much a free Baron. Camille comes in to contest and Diana goes for the turn. Honestly, it's not really even needed. Huge damage, huge true damage by the Diana. Look at the huge heal from Nami, by the way. Here I ult to make sure I don't die, and I get a kill onto the Camille. The rest of the enemy team comes over, and we pretty much de-aggroed the Baron and fully turned for the fight at this point. And we got the kills, and I was thinking that our team was pretty low. Look at the huge heal by Nami, by the way, again. So I was thinking that our team was pretty low, and probably the better move instead of going for the Baron is just to force the end. Because at this point in time, I'm really strong. I do believe we can just force the end. Here I get the kill onto the Leona. I'm going for the Caitlyn. And Kha'Zix, I assume, is gonna back. Yeah, there he is. In comes Kha'Zix. I stasis instantly to prevent myself from getting bursted from the Kha'Zix. And huge damage onto the Kha'Zix. Now here, lifesteal would have come in really handy, but not quite. Managed to get enough damage onto the Kha'Zix for the red buff to kill him again before I revive. And the minions end the game. So, yeah. So you guys can see how good Xayah was in that entire gameplay. How many ults actually saved my life. And here, yeah. So anyways guys, I'll leave you guys with the stats as usual. So thank you guys for watching the video, and goodbye.